Hey everybody, it's 11 o'clock on Thursday and it's Geli Printing Day and it's my new time that I'm doing this so that I don't get interrupted by customers because I open the doors at 12. So now I'm doing my lives at 11 and today is Thursday, so that's Geli Printing Day. So I'm just gonna go and jump right in. We have, let's see, I'm doing the Geli Printing Challenge, the 31-day Geli Printing Challenge. I'm like 10 of those days. So I'm a little behind. Let me just get this perfect. But today's challenge was pan pastels. Now pan pastels are actually a specific product. They're powder pastels and they come in a little tub, and they can screw the tubs on to each other so that you end up with a stack of them. And they're great. They're a great product. They're a fine art product. I used to carry them in my old store, and they're beautiful, but they're expensive. So I haven't brought them into this store yet. And so I was a little stumped as to what to do in terms of having, using a pastel in that way. It's like a chalky pastel. So I thought what I would do instead is work with this. This is Jane Davenport's, she has this sort of makeup thing that she does with her products. This is her, actually I'm not even sure what they call it because it's not on the packaging, but they're basically a creamy pastel. And I'm just gonna go ahead and work with this right now, and then after that I'll try a gelato. So I'm just basically gonna try making this work with whatever I have. And so Brigitte had hers, she just used it exactly the way I am right now, which is that she used a stencil and a brush or a sponge to apply it. This stencil is brand new. I just broke it out of the package. It's one of the Stamperia, the smaller Stamperia stencils from the Vagabond line. So I do have it in stock if you like it. It's got some nice patterns on it. I don't know what that was. So I'm just gonna add some colors. I've got a variety of ways to do that. I can use the applicator that came with it. I can use one of these sponges. These sponges are getting a little compromised, so I'm just pulling them apart at this point and using them like this. You can see this one going down a little better than the green. And then what I'm going to do after this is I will apply paint behind it in order to pick it up. Because otherwise it'll just, it'll stay a little gooey, for instance, on the plate, and it'll stay gooey on the paper because it's literally just this paste. And so if I want to pick it up, I want to use something behind it. So this is a nice little palette. This is from Jane Davenport. She has this whole thing that she does with mermaids and faces and stuff. So this palette was meant to be a coordinate with some of the things that she has for that. So like, it's supposed to be like faces, for faces, it's falling apart. Making cheeks and lips and things like that. So that's why the colors are what they are. They're lippy colors. It's pretty purple. Let's see what that looks like on here. And at least I'll have today's challenge done. Before you go, I'm going to show you my Geli printed zine. Should always mute your phone before you go live in here. You know this. It's been a year of lives. You should always mute your phone. Okay, so that was a little time consuming, but I got this. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of a nice effect. Just put that aside, and now I'm going to use a color behind it. Which color? I mean, it might be kind of fun to use something gray and see if it picks up the darkness. Oh, where's my brayer? That is the question. Let's use this one. I'm trying to be better about not using so much paint because I've been bad about that. Okay. What happens when I pick this up? Oh, that sort of worked. Kind of pretty. Little damasky. Let's see. I've got a ghost print, a possible ghost print here. Put down a little more paint. This Stealth Americana paint is a nice choice for this. All right, so we're at this point, I'm just trying to get that ghost image up. So I'm really gonna rub it hard. Yeah, sort of got it. You can see the pearlescence from the from the pastels in there. Yeah, that was nothing. All right, so that was kind of interesting. I don't know if I want to really pursue it, to be honest. So I'm just going to go ahead and see about doing a cleansing pull with this yellow. See if I can pull up this, what's left on the Geli plate. And if not, then I will clean it with a baby wipe. I've replenished my baby wipe stores. Again, I'm just using paper I have on hand. This happens to be a 67-pound Bristol. It's one of the papers that I like to use. Okay, so I got a little bit of a ghost image on that one. Kind of pretty. A nice little model from the colors. But it did not clean my plate the way I wanted it to. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it off with a baby wipe. I've also been using this plate to print with alcohol ink, so you know, might be reacting a little weirdly because of that. Okay, I wanted to show you this. I made this yesterday. This was for the challenge. Yesterday was lines. I didn't get it up on the website because I was trying to do a video, and I can't figure out how to do the video to make it faster because it's a long process. You know, I go with the glue gun, but I get this kind of cool plate. And so I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use that plate. The simplest is just to put, do not need that much paint. Not nearly. Okay. All right. This is what alive looks like, folks. I've noticed that I've gotten more and more impatient with the videos I see, like on Instagram and things like that. If I don't get to the point right away, I get annoyed, which is silly because I do these long videos myself. So I've just sprayed on some paint, and now I'm just going to use this to pull some off. So now I've got two things going on. I have this, which I could maybe pull the paint off of if I wanted. I think I'm going to. I'll try with this. And I've got a little secondary printing. Nah, that didn't really work. All right, now I can just pull this off. Or I could let it dry for half a second and maybe brayer down a color on top. Let's see what happens if I do that. This is a yellow whoop. My brayer was dry, so it pulled up some of the blue. Okay, let's see what I get. I don't know if you can see the lines on that. I got some lines, but I have more lines here. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is use this the other way around. So I'm going to use a piece of scrap paper as a place to brayer some color onto my brayer. Kind of like a palette, you know, like this. So that I can then come along and brayer it onto my board here. And then I'm just going to use the board basically as a stamp. Don't want to wait too long. Come along. Now I'm just going to stamp that color on using there. So I got a little bit of an impression. Not a huge one, but I wasn't going for a huge one. I don't know. So something happened on the brayer where I ended up with kind of a green color. Must be the yellow and the blue mixing together. Let's throw the blue out down behind it and see what we get. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually brayer the color on from a palette so I don't have a dry brayer. There, see the difference? Okay, let's see what happens when I pick that up. If I get anything interesting. Too much paint. So now I'm going for the secondary print, trying to pull the actual image from the Geli plate. Oh, finally, look, lines. It's kind of fun. Anyway, these are all going to be background pieces anyway, so I'm not worried about them not coming out perfectly. So, you know, here's what I've got. Earlier I was working with, actually I'll do that now. Here's, this is an Archival Ink. So instead of paint, I'm just going to dab this on and we'll see what we get. Let's see. We're going to try just pulling it and see if that works, and if not, we'll try it again. And oh, that's kind of fun. Got a little bit of an impression that way. Let's see, what if we do, this is a stays on Pigment Ink, same concept. This time I'm doing it through the stencil. Pull this off. There you see the stencil marks. Now I'm going to come in with the yellow and tap on top of that. See if we can't get something out of this. Let's see what happens. Ooh, kind of pretty. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so I have this that I took earlier. Actually, what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to cover it all with blue. Let's see how this one more works. Now remember, the ink's going to go down much more transparent than it will show up on the paper. So, you know, the amount of coverage that you see here will translate onto the paper much more intensely. So there's that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this on top of it. This is where I should be using my registration tool so that when I pull it up, see, I didn't quite register it properly. Now I have this. See what happens if I roll some paint out onto it. Actually, I'll do this since I have some paint here. Just gonna start with that paint. Yeah, too dry. This is one way too to avoid getting blobs in your Geli prints. Braying it onto your brayer first and then onto the Geli plate. A little bit of a ghost print out of that. Kind of interesting. So I'm just going to do this because I have it. I'm going to use this. This is one of the new masks that I have. It is a mask, not a stencil, which means that I'm going to be picking up the image is going to be made by the white space, not the ink. If that makes sense. So that didn't work so well. So what I'm going to do is pull that off, and now you can see I have another potential print right there waiting for me. At this point I probably waited too long and let it dry, so we'll just spray our little color on. It's a cheerful mix right here, isn't it? You can sort of see what I had going on there. Maybe didn't wait long enough for the paint to set. But, so there are lots of ways you can use a mask. You can do what I just did, and then you can do this, where you put it down first, brayer on some color, and then pull it off. And you can see what I've got going on there. Let me throw down some pink on there and see if we can't pick that up in a way that's pleasing. Got a little Easter egg theme going on here in terms of color. Well, I didn't get a lot in terms of the, well, you can see the mask, but I also, there was a lot still on my Geli plate, so I've got these grungy bits, which is what a lot of people love about Geli printing and what I love about Geli printing, where you can see, the ghost prints from previous pulls. So that's kind of fun. It's got a little ghosty stuff in there. And it's really fun to do is come in with your gel pen and pick those images up. So I could come in and trace some of these and pull them forward again. That's a fun thing to do afterwards. If you're wondering what to do with Geli prints, I actually have a Geli print class on the website right now. We're going to make what's called a zine. This is just the beginning, so that's my front page. But the idea is that you start basically with a piece of paper and you cut it up in a way that you can make this little book. And then at the end, and we're going to Geli print each page separately. And then we're going to mix media on it. And zines usually have a point, like it's a little mini publication. So this one's going to be ideas on how to get started in journaling, mixed media journaling. So there'll be a list of supplies, and there'll be a list of techniques, and there'll be ideas for inspiration, that sort of thing. And then at the end, when you've got all the pages filled, you open it back up again, and you photocopy it, and you print it. And in the class, we're going to do that at the end, and we're going to print 10 copies of each one. So everyone's going to go home with a little mini run of their zine. anyway, I hope that sounds fun to you. That's not till the end of July. Plenty of time to think about it, but I'm really looking forward to this because it's that whole thing of like, what do you do with Geli printing now that you've mastered some of the basics? Like, what do you do with it? It's a very good question. So that is it for me today. Check out the Instagram 31-day Geli printing challenge. It's amazing some of the stuff people are doing. And thanks, Christy. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, there's a lot on Instagram right now around it, and lots of great tutorials. But hopefully you got inspired to play with your Geli plate today. And I do have all of these things in stock if you want to come in. I've got the cheap paints, the expensive paints, the brayers, the Geli plates, everything you need to get started. So enjoy your day, everyone, and I hope to see you at the store soon. Remember, you can come in 12 to 5, Tuesday through Saturday now. No restrictions. You just have to wear your mask. All right. See you soon. Bye.